I'm so freaking excited for today's conversation. You guys, you have no idea. So many of you have asked me to have a dream expert on the show, and I happen to know one who I've had the pleasure of meeting in person. And of course, this beautiful conversation is perfectly aligned with the fall season, spooky season, Halloween, October. So I can't wait for you to get to know today's guest, who is Andrea Morrison. Andrea is the founder of Dream Life Connection. She is a dream guide, an online business manager, and an intuitive mentor who helps spiritual entrepreneurs bring their visions to life, both in the dream world and in the real world. She quite literally blends the practical with the magical. Andrea is also on the founding team of Dreamigos, a new dream app and community. When she's not working with clients, you'll find her journaling, traveling the world, or watching Hallmark movies. Ah, a girl after my own heart.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
obsessed.
I love it. Andrea, you get me on so many levels. It's just magical. So welcome to the show, Andrea. Where are you located?
Well, as of a couple weeks ago, I'm back in Seattle, Washington. Yeah,
Amazing.
back
Yeah, I
back from
know.
my traveling journey and living at home for a little bit, and now I'm back in the Pacific Northwest.
Magical. And I had the pleasure of meeting Andrea in May. Yeah, May or June
Yeah.
of this year, when I was traveling through Idaho and hanging out
Mm-hmm.
with my friend Jennifer Spoor, who Andrea works with. And so we got to have lunch together, and it was just such a
It was
treat.
so divine. It was so cool. It was so fun.
And you and Jennifer are both Tauruses, and I'm a Taurus rising. So it was just like this little trio of Taurus
Oh,
energy.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, can you share with us your astrology, sun, moon, and rising so we can get to know you better?
Yeah, Taurus, and Leo.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow. Mm-hmm.
And I'm in my Taurus era right now for sure because now I'm like planting my roots back in Seattle after traveling, and I just became a plant mom for my first time. I just got the most beautiful monstera, and it's so fun to take care of it. And just one of the little leaves was spiraling, and it just unraveled today, and I was so proud. It's like, yay, I did it.
Oh my God, the
I have not
Monstera
had a green
journey.
thumb, so I'm really
Mm.
excited about it.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring that up because I actually have a massive Monstera in my bedroom that I need to replant. And I have been
Oh
avoiding doing it
yeah.
because it's a
Yeah,
project.
repot it.
Yeah.
And ironically, I had a conversation earlier today about that because I just repotted mine a couple days ago, and it's not, what is it called? Root bound, where the
Mm-hmm.
roots it's so tight. And so it was so symbolic of everything that I had been through. And it's like, I just repotted myself. I'm in my new apartment and I just like unraveled my roots. So I was like, oh man, it's all connected.
Oh, hell yeah. It's so true. I know the day will come when it's time for mine, and you're so right. It's like such a
Yeah.
symbolic journey. I'm obsessed. And what's your human design type?
I'm a manifester.
Cool. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
don't
that
know
about you.
I can't remember the numbers. I think I'm like a 4, 6. I don't know too much about human design, but I know that I'm a manifester, which is so perfect for what I do because I feel like it is like linking people, and I channel that manifestation with all of my clients and kind of bring in what they want. So I love being a manifester. Yeah. What are you?
I'm a manifesting generator.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of energy to do a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
But can you explain to us in your own words how you help your clients and kind of what your business looks like?
Yeah. So in the bio that you read, it's funny because it sounds like I have like three distinct titles, but they really are all so connected. And that's why I love my business name, Dream Life Connection, because it really is about connecting people with their dream lives, whether it's sleeping or their daydreams, you know? So I work with a lot of people, mostly spiritual entrepreneurs with their businesses, and I help them connect them with their dream lives and their dream businesses. And so I do online business management, which is kind of a blend of there's the business aspect, the consulting, and then there's also like the hands-on. I do the producing, I do the copywriting, things like that. But then there's the umbrella overarching, like just by connecting with my clients, like we're able to dive deeper into their daydreams, like what they want to manifest, but also their nighttime dreams. So a lot of my clients will bring their dreams to me and we'll talk about them and how it relates to their waking life. And so dream life connection, it's all connected. So yeah, that's what I do.
It's all connected. I think we think of our sleep life and our dream life as so separate from our waking life, but it's honestly not.
It's all the same. And it's ironic too, because so I don't know if you watch The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I have like the infinity is like a big thing in the show. And I have this like little thing. I've always loved infinity, but I always think about infinity with dreams and waking life. And this is why I love Tibetan yogis' philosophy on dream work, because there's no separation for them with dream time and waking life. It's all the same. It's all connected. And so looking at your life as if it's a dream can be really powerful. And then also when you go to sleep, recognizing that it's not just blackout time, that it's not just time where it's like, oh, random things are happening while I sleep. It's all a part of your whole human experience. And your dreams are just as real as this conversation we're having now. So I think that's a really fun way to look at dreams, as it's all connected.
Oh, I just got the chills as you said that. Yes. So how did we get here, Andrea? What created the dream obsession? And like,
Oh my gosh.
tell us.
So I was a late bloomer with dreams. I was not a very vivid dreamer as a kid. I always say that my journey, my spiritual awakening started after a really hard breakup. And there probably were some other dominoes before that, but really after that breakup, that's when I started kind of tapping into my spirituality. I was going to bookstores, getting a bunch of books, and then I got the book, The Field Guide to Lucid Dreaming, because I was just curious about it. I was one of those people who thought dreams don't mean anything. Who cares? But I started reading that book, and then I started recording my dreams. And then I started noticing, there's a little pattern. And then I had my first lucid dream. And a lucid dream is when you're aware that you're dreaming and you can control it. So I actually had my first lucid dream like about 3 weeks after I started recording my dreams. So it can happen pretty fast. And in this dream, so at the time I was working at a TV station in Seattle, and I was really happy at the job, but I was also like, I don't know if I'm really fulfilled here. I feel like I want to make a difference in the world, and it doesn't really feel like I'm doing that. So in this lucid dream, I woke up and I was flying out of the turbulence of, like, I realized I was dreaming. I did my reality check and I was like, I'm in my dream. I'm in my dream. What should I do? And then I heard this voice in the back of my mind. I call it my narrator, that said, just open the door and you'll know what to do. So I opened the door and I started flying, but I was in this dome over Seattle and it was dark clouds and I was flying through it and it was super turbulent. I get goosebumps every time I talk about it because it was so fun. Because I made it out of the turbulence and then it was beautiful blue skies, puffy white clouds, and a rainbow was following me. And I was flying and I was doing all these tricks in the air. And then I realized I was in Mario World. And I looked down and there was this whole like celebration. And in the dream, I asked, where's Princess Peach? Why isn't she in the dream? And then the narrator was like, you're Princess Peach. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're celebrating the fact that I got lucid for the first time. And it was, the thing about it, it sounds really silly, but it was so real. It was like I could smell it, I could feel it. And I've had several lucid dreams since. That was hands down the best one I've ever had. And I woke up from that dream and I actually screamed in bed, I flew, because it was so real to me. And so after that lucid dream, like my whole life changed, because I realized what is happening in our universe. Like there's so much that we can't explain, and science can't explain certain things. But if you experience it, you know it, and you're like, okay, wow, there is so much to explore. So I ended up quitting my job. And there's a whole long story I could go on and on about, but I quit my job at the TV station that I thought I was going to retire at. And I started traveling, and I moved to Bali. I lived in Europe. I lived a lot of many years in Vietnam, Thailand. And I started building my own business just based off of like what felt right at the time. And I was developing my skills, blending my TV experience with dream work, spirituality, all of that. And now it's birthed into Dream Life Connection. And I kind of closed that chapter on traveling, came back home, and now it's like, it's ironic that I'm back in Seattle, because that first lucid dream, it was very overcast and dark, which at the time made me think, oh, Seattle's not the right place for you. But really it was like, I wasn't right for Seattle. I needed to like go on my hero's journey. I needed to experience this awakening. And so now I'm back, and I feel like a new woman in Seattle. And I'm so happy to be here and just have my own business. And it's just, yeah. So sorry for the long-winded response, but it truly started from a dream. And now I'm like developing my dream life. So that is a testament to how powerful your dreams can be, for sure.
That's so sick. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
It's
probably the
been a
most
story.
unbelievable dream story that I've ever heard, ever. Wow.
I've talked with, and you'd be surprised. Like, I feel like everybody kind of has like a big dream, and it's wild when you start getting into the dream industry and you talk with other people. Like, I've met people who literally dreamt of their partners, and then like years later they met them and they were like, you were in my dream, and then they've been married for like 7 years. True story. And it's like, so it's the more you dive into it, the more you realize like my story, it's epic, but there's a lot of epic stories out there.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. And I have been trying to keep track of my own dreams now for a few months, as much as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just wild to me to see the themes and the
Mm-hmm.
patterns and the symbols. It is its own whole language.
It is.
So, okay, I've got so many questions for you. I want to start first. Let's talk about the lucid dreaming first, because that's
Yeah.
kind of touching on your story. So, when you had this first lucid dream, were there things that you did to prepare for that? Or what did that process look like?
Absolutely. So as I was reading the Field Guide to Lucid Dreaming, I actually paused in the book where you get to the point where it's like, okay, you've had your first lucid dream. Because I was like, I want to wait until I want to set everything up to make sure I do this correctly. So the best thing you can do is record your dreams. Absolutely. And I know a lot of people out there. I've met a lot of people who say, I don't dream. Everybody dreams. And even if you don't remember them, something you can start doing is wake up and remember how you're feeling, because you won't forget that. And that just starts building the habit. So you start recording your dreams. And I will say, when I first started recording my first dreams were like maybe one sentence, sometimes just a few words, because I couldn't really remember. And remember also to give yourself grace. If you don't remember it, that's okay. We have so many nights to practice and to try. So record your dreams, whether it's in a dream journal. Like in my bio, I work for Dreamigos. It's this really cool app on your phone you can download where you can record your dreams, either typing it in. You can also write in your dream journal and take a photo and post it, or you can do voice to text, which is actually really, it comes in handy because you're like half asleep. So you like grab your phone and you're just like dog with a skateboard, and then it like writes it down, and then it jogs back the memory. So that's a technique too, is when you wake up from a dream and you can't remember the full thing, try to remember at least one word. And sometimes I'm still asleep and I'll like literally move my finger to write the word, because then it just one word, and then it brings back the entire dream. So as you start remembering more and more, it gets stronger and stronger. And it's also telling your subconscious mind that you care, that you want to remember your dreams, that it's like your subconscious is finally like, yes, okay, they're listening. Okay, let's keep going. So to get lucid, you can do reality checks. So there's all sorts of reality checks. And the one that I do, basically all you do is you hold up your two hands and you look at them all throughout the day and you ask, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? And it's like obvious, like, no, I'm not dreaming. So it feels a little silly, but you are building the habit, because oftentimes when you wake up in your dream and you're lucid, you'll do the habit of looking at your hands and ask, am I dreaming? But then there's something different about your hands.
Oh, shit.
Or you can, there's a lot of different reality checks. This is the one that's worked the best for me. And so even that first, I get, again, goosebumps. That first lucid dream, my fingers were all like expanding and distorted. And then that's what signaled to my brain, you're in your dream. So I've had dreams where my fingers were like mirrors. I've had them where they were hot dogs before. And so that is what told me. And then it's important too, because you get really excited and you're like, I'm in my dream. I'm in my dream. Okay, what should I do? It's important to stay calm, or at least attempt to stay calm, because then you'll wake yourself up. So that's why like meditating during your waking life is really good too, to kind of keep that and remind yourself, like, if I wake up in my dream, it's like, just enjoy, like, go for the ride. So I think reality checks I think those are the best ways to become lucid. And you can also start, have you ever had it where you're falling asleep and you're kind of in that in-between state? It's called hypnagogia, where it's like you're getting all these kind of like, it's like a movie, like crazy
All the
images,
time.
and you're like just about to doze off. That's a really good time to start saying to your mind, like, I will remember, or I will become aware I'm dreaming. I will become aware I'm dreaming, or some type of like message that means something to you. And so then as you're falling asleep, that message is in the back of your mind. So then when you enter your dream, and also, I could just keep going and going. I'm sorry, but
Keep going and
another
going.
really cool thing is based on our sleep cycle. So we dream when we're in REM, rapid eye movement, right? So as we fall asleep, we mostly get into REM in the morning. That's why usually when people remember their dreams, like they always say like, oh, I had a dream last night. It's usually actually in the morning, because that's when you're hitting REM. So when you fall asleep, you usually go almost straight into deep sleep. So when you're in deep sleep, that's when you're doing the healing and all of that. So then the way that I think about it is, if you have this like intention to become lucid, when you go into deep sleep, that intention often gets forgotten. So then when you come back into all the other cycles and then hit REM, a lot of times like you have already lost that intention. So then you just go through it and it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. That's why I think when you wake up, I know a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 a.m. I do this all the time. And it used to stress me out. It used to be like, oh, fall back asleep. Like I should be asleep right now. I've reframed that and I'm like, yes, because this is like prime time to get lucid because you've already gone through the deep sleep. So now you're awake. And then when you go back to sleep, you can almost immediately go into REM, meaning your intention is right there. So in the ancient times, they called it second sleep. And so people would actually wake up in the middle of the night and they'd they'd do things. They'd make food, they'd read, and then they'd go back to sleep for like a second sleep. And so I think it would be kind of fun to like kind of embrace that and treat that as like, hey, like it just makes it that much easier to become lucid because I'll start falling asleep and say, I will become aware I'm dreaming. And then you'll hit REM and then it'll happen. And then your whole life will change.
Holy shit. Oh my God. So cool. With your intention for lucid dreaming, is it important to have an idea of what you would like to create while in the lucid dream state, or with dreams in general? Can you talk to us a little bit about the intention setting?
I think that there is mixed opinions on that. I know a lot of people want to do lucid dreaming in order to truly control the dream and to, practice something, to experience something, whatever the craziest thing you have in your mind you want to experience, you can become lucid and do that. It's free space to do whatever you want. With me and what I tend to talk to my clients about is to almost be a little bit more curious and let that narrator in the back of your mind kind of like guide you in a way rather than going in. And again, you can do it however you want if you want to try things. But I think it's really fun to just literally go with the flow and see what happens, see what your subconscious or super conscious is guiding you to do. And I think when you wake up from those dreams, not even necessarily lucid dreams, but just dreams in general, sometimes I wake up and many times, and I'm sure many people who have crazy dreams think this too, where it's like, how did my mind come up with that? For the longest time, I was like, I think I'm like secretly a genius because that was brilliant. Like the things that I came up with, and that sounds silly to say, but I'm like, there's no way my conscious mind could have come up with that scenario or idea. Or sometimes I have these funny punchlines. And so I think it's really fun to just be an open vessel and to become aware. And then you could literally ask, you can find dream characters. You can ask people in your dreams, where should I go? What should I do? Or I want to check this out. Like, guide me. You'll have dream characters come in your dreams. You'll have certain symbols, and just having fun with it and just seeing where it takes you, because that's being a mystic to me, is like really just embracing the mystery and following the signs and the synchronicities and what makes you feel good. So
I love that answer. Can you tell us a little bit more about your narrator? Because I found that fascinating. What is that to you?
It's hard to explain because I think, in my opinion, my narrator, I've developed a very strong relationship with my intuition. And I think my narrator is just the voice of my intuition, because I read the book Conversations with God, and that book, like, that was another like shift for me. And I started writing with my intuition. So I would take two pens, two different colors, and I would start writing from my ego mind and be like, why am I frustrated about this? Why am I stressed about this? Da, 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 da. And then I would take the other pen and I would like just that act of grabbing the other pen would switch my mind. And it was like, again, goosebumps.
That's genius. I love
and I'm like, or no, not I'm like, my intuition is like, whoever it is that's speaking to me is like, well, you're feeling this way because, well, what should I do? You should do this, or just trust yourself. Da, 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 da. You know, the voice. So I have multiple journals of me conversing with my intuition. And again, it's kind of like when you're doing reality checks, it feels really silly and you're like, well, obviously I'm not dreaming. That's how I felt with communicating with my intuition, because I was like, this is, we're taught to not talk with the voices in our heads, and I'm writing with mine. But I kept developing it. And so I think in my dreams, that narrator is the voice of my intuition that is, again, just kind of guiding me and like not necessarily controlling my dream, but just like, hey, just open the door and you'll know where to go. And sure enough, like I just started flying. So I think that's my narrator, in my opinion.
Hell yeah, I love that. I mean, I am someone who has a strong running inner dialogue in my head at all times, which not I know that not everybody does. And that's sort of what I learned with my own intuitive journey, how to discern spirit guides from my own ego mind, from my own sort of super conscious higher self
Mm-hmm.
voice too.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that because that tells me, oh, I can do that in my dream state as well. And I had never thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very powerful, Andrea. I also feel called to share one of the coolest lucid dream experiences that I had, and it was simple, very simple, but yet very profound. Was I realized I was dreaming, and in the dream, I was literally flying through the stars, flying through planets, of course, like this is so me, flying through the planets, the galaxies. It was infinite space. I just saw the universe for what it was, which is limitless and infinite. And the planets were morphing into different colors. Like it was a psychedelic trip to the
Yeah.
extreme. And I just felt myself like melting into the cosmos and the universe. And in the dream, I said, take me home, meaning take me to my home star system, right? Like I want to travel to meet, the Pleiadians or like whoever. I just want to go
Yes.
somewhere like just take me to my galactic family, right? That's what I said. That was my intention in my dream. Take me home. 2 seconds
Oh.
later, I freaking wake up in my bed.
Oh no. You got to build that muscle again. Get back into
But
it.
no, but it actually taught me a lot because when I woke up in my bed at home, the guides literally sent me home. And it was a reminder of this is your
It's
home.
very literal. Like,
this
yeah, send me home. Okay.
But it
Oh,
was good for it was good for me though because it reminded me like this planet, this earth, this lifetime, this is home right now. And you're
yeah.
not meant to bypass it by going to explore, the Pleiades or wherever it is that want to travel to. So,
That is so fitting for you to
I
do
know, isn't
that.
it?
I love how you have that, and then I have Mario World, which is so like fitting for me too. And I just think that your first lucid dream is like, it's so revealing of who you are.
Completely.
It's so
Completely,
fun.
yes. And what about kind of that weird in between state um before you fall asleep at night where because I often have the experience where I feel like I'm falling and then I kind of like
Mm,
jerk myself awake, or I
yeah.
have like a little bit of a sleep paralysis and I'm like, oh my God, I can't move. So, can you speak to any of those weird
Yeah,
things that happen?
absolutely. Yeah. So when you're, especially with the falling ones, and like so the hypnagogic state is when you're in between and it's like almost like a kaleidoscope in your mind. It's just like all these like visions. But a lot of people have falling dreams, and we all wake up right before we land. I wish I had, this is what I love about dream work. There is no 100% answer to anything. So always take what I say with like a grain of salt. But I have heard of a theory that we wake up before we land because our mind is protecting us from seeing something that could be almost like traumatizing to us. And so that's why a lot of times if there's like some graphic things happening, and to be fair, I have had multiple dreams where like I have seen very graphic things, but like, you know, if there's like a gun and there's a shot, a lot of times you'll wake up right then, and it could be your subconscious mind protecting you from like experiencing that or witnessing it. But when it comes to sleep paralysis, I used to get sleep paralysis all the time. I had the classic, which I'm sure if you've experienced it, it was like that too, where you wake up in your body's not awake, but your mind is. But it's actually crazy the universal experience that people have, because a lot, I didn't even know about this, but I was experiencing it, like the man with the black hat. That's like a common thing that people see.
Oh my
And
God, I have
I
not seen
didn't,
that. Oh,
yes,
geez.
I used to see it.
Oh
And
no.
it was always like a dark figure that would come. And then I started reading books about it, and it was like, wait, what? I didn't even know about this, but this is like a common thing that people experience when they are in sleep paralysis, and you try to scream and whatnot. What I will say about that is the more you start tapping into your dreams, and especially with lucidity, it's it's very healing for that, because I started getting more and more lucid, and but I was still having sleep paralysis until I mean, it's been maybe 4 years now since I've had sleep paralysis. And that last time I woke up and I was about to scream, I heard my narrator, I heard my intuition. You're safe. You're okay. You're having sleep paralysis. You're fine. Relax. You're safe. You're in bed. There's nobody in here. It's okay. And I just kind of coached my way through it until my body caught up and woke up too. I have not had sleep paralysis since, because I think I finally like overcame that. And so if
Wow.
anybody experiences sleep paralysis, I would encourage them to try practicing lucidity, because even if you don't get fully lucid and fly and whatnot, just having that skill to be able to like talk to yourself in those in between states, that's what can either take you into an amazing dream or save you from a really scary dream.
Yeah, 2 points on that note. I'm a big fan of Rachel Stavis, who wrote this book, Sister of Darkness. I have it here, The Modern
Oh, I don't
Exorcist.
know it.
And she talks a lot about the Sandman, and the Sandman
Mm,
being the being that is in control of the dream world to some extent, but more of like the negative dream world. So I
mm-hmm.
wonder if that's the man with the black hat.
It could be. I don't know a lot about Sandman,
Oh,
but
it is.
I might
It
have to.
is.
Really?
The Sandman looks like a shadowy figure of a man with an old fashioned wide brimmed hat.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm in shock right now. What?
Yes. Yeah, according to Rachel, because she was born with the ability to be able to
Oh,
see dark spirits with her physical eyes. So she's
I
seen
can't
him.
believe that. I was seeing
Yeah.
Sandman. I didn't even know it.
So apparently he searches
Whoa.
for large areas like city blocks, buildings, or entire small towns to focus all of his negative energy on a particular space, to wrap that energy with he wraps it with an etheric energy that looks like spider webbing. When his target is completely covered, he sits back satisfied and waits.
Oh
And he
my
does that to
gosh.
pull negative energy.
What?
Yeah, fascinating. So
That's
I've never
blowing my
met him, thank
mind.
God, but
I'm so glad it's not fun. It's not
yeah.
fun. Wow.
So to that point, because I do want to talk about nightmares, but before we do, with lucid dreaming, do you have any clients who come to you who have a little bit of fear around, like, oh, I'm afraid when I tap into the lucid dreaming, or maybe the when you're kind of in between that state, you wake yourself up because you're afraid to kind of go into it? How do you coach them
Yeah.
through that?
Yeah, actually a lot of people I know have fear around dreams, and I even my mom, she's nervous to become lucid and have dreams like that. Because and I think that right there is it's all about intention, right? It's like so many things. If you go into something and you kind of have this fear or this it or almost this expectation that it could potentially be a bad experience. That is likely what you'll manifest. That's probably what you'll experience. So I call it the dream method, where to help you remember your dreams, to connect with your dreams. And the D, it stands for desire. So desire, because I know a lot of us want to remember our dreams, but we have to have that deep desire, that deep trust that it will be okay. And I think working with that, like a lot of my clients have really scary dreams. And on that note, with nightmares, like I've helped a lot of people reframe their views on nightmares, because to me, nightmares are a gift. Nightmares are amazing to have because they have the strongest messages. So once you start reframing your mind around nightmares, you're less likely to actually have them. Or when you do, you think of it as like, okay, this is a lesson I need to know. So I would just encourage people, if they're afraid to experience the dream world, dream time, or get lucid, work with that in your conscious waking life and start saying affirmations. It's just like doing the reality check. Start telling yourself, dreaming is a good thing. Dreaming is an amazing thing. And even if the dreams are a negative experience, there's usually a positive message that you can gain from it. So everything is valuable.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. That's so fascinating. Do you feel like negative spirits can influence nightmares? Or do you really see that nightmares are more of your subconscious mind bringing forward a message or some symbolism that needs to be healed?
To me personally, again, there's so many different
I
theories, so
know.
many
I'm
different
just
perspectives.
curious your
Yeah.
perspective. Yes.
For me, it's all the language of our subconscious mind. And
Fascinating. Yeah.
but the thing is like, I do believe we're all connected. And I do think that, it could be a message for the universe if you have a dream like that. So that's what I've come to believe in my years of dream practice, that everything is like a mirror of me, and I'm also a mirror of the universe. So the dreams are just a way to give you the message of like how you're truly feeling and what you really want, or especially with nightmares, what are your blocks? What are the things preventing you from living your dream life? So yeah, that's just my opinion, though. I know that there's a lot of different opinions, but that's how I've come
Totally.
to think
No,
of it.
I love that, and I think that's really important because there can be so many clues as to what's going on in your subconscious mind. I mean, because I do some of the entity release, I have seen clients who have had, repeating night terrors and so forth, and it has been spirit driven, but it's
Mm-hmm.
because there's a spirit that's attached to a trauma or
Mm-hmm.
something that's creating the subconscious dream experience in the first place.
Yeah,
So we're ultimately talking about the same thing, which is that your subconscious is attached to something that needs to be healed at the end of the
exactly.
day. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So fascinating. The other thing, oh my God, what was I going to ask you about? I had a whole thing that I was going to ask you about.
Nightmares?
Oh yeah, we can keep talking about nightmares if you have more there. What
Uh,
else do we need to know about nightmares, Andrea?
so the reason I say that nightmares are a gift, and I'm going to refer to the Tibetan yogis because I love their whole take on dreams, their belief in dreams. And I went to a talk once and it really shocked me when he said, if you are having a nightmare, it means you're just a really bad listener. Because he explained that every dream has a message or a lesson. And a lot of times the little fluffy dreams, we forget them, we move on. Okay, we want the dreamer to know what's going on. So then the dream gets a little bit more intense. So by the time you hit the nightmare, it's your subconscious is like, pay attention. we have a message for you. Like, pay attention. So, because nightmares are a lot easier to remember. You wake up from them, they're pretty hard to forget. So then with that, usually the dark, the negative monster experience, entity, whatever it is in your dream, is usually the carrier of some type of message. Usually it's something that needs your attention. It's the whole, story, like, I don't know if it's cliche or not, but it's like, it just needs love. It just needs attention. So I always say that the phrase hug the monster. The way to learn from your nightmare, the way to overcome your nightmares, is to finally face the monster. Because usually the monster is just standing there like, yeah, it can be really scary, but I've had dreams where I've had like a scary wolf, for example, a really terrifying wolf. And I finally became semi-lucid and was like, no, I need to like face the wolf. The wolf ended up becoming my companion and was helping me through the dream. And that's usually the case in our nightmares. It's like, if you wake up, think about the main symbol in the nightmare and ask, what does this monster represent in my life? And what do I need to shift with it? Do I need to give some extra love and attention to something that I'm neglecting or I'm avoiding or that I don't like? And it can be really encouraging for you to make some big shifts just from a nightmare. So that's why I think nightmares are really, really powerful dreams to have.
Oh my God. Wow. Yes. And overcoming the fear too. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes when we try to repress it and push it away, the subconscious is like, no, 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 like you need to take a look at this because it's going to
Exactly.
help you if we do.
Yeah, exactly.
And as I always say, the best way, the only, as I always say, we need to go through it. What am I trying to say? I'm getting tongue tied. As I always say, the only way out is through.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
very true.
It's so true. When it comes to remembering and recording your dreams the next day when you wake up, do you have any other tips for starting to unpack the symbolism and
Mm-hmm.
developing your own understanding of your own dream language?
Yeah. So I don't think I went through my whole dream method, but it's a really good place to start because the D is the desire, right? So you have a deep longing to remember your dreams. So then R is obviously record. You record as much as you can, even if it's just your emotions or feelings upon waking. Then we have E, which is examine, paying attention to your surroundings, whether it's in your waking life or in your dream. Like examine, like pay attention. Everything is a symbol, right? You can get meaning from anything in your dream. It doesn't have to just be the dog with the skateboard. It could be, okay, what time of day was it? How was I feeling in the dream? What environment did I have? What was going on in the distance? So that's all important to the entire dream. Then we have A, which I say is absorb. So something you can do is truly don't just place the importance of dream work into the nighttime, doing a nighttime ritual, doing your affirmations, falling asleep, recording your dreams. During the day, absorb dream work too. You could listen to podcasts, you could read books, there's so many different things, even like listening to binaural beats. There's so many like dream time, like frequencies that you could listen to. But if you absorb it during the day, that is like, again, telling your subconscious mind, like, this is important. And then there's a term called lucid living that I love, which is where it's like you're aware. It's the same thing that when you're dreaming, it's like you're lucid while you're conscious and you're paying attention to the people in your life. The people in your life are like dream characters. Oh, what message do you have for me? that crazy thing that happened, that really scary thing that happened, what's the gift in it? What's the monster in the situation? What do I need to like address or hug or whatever? So viewing life as a dream in itself makes life a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. And then of course, M is for maintain, because it can be challenging. Sometimes it's really hard to like stick with it, because you could go a few nights or months or even years without remembering your dreams, and you're like, oh gosh, okay, it's what's the point? But don't give up. Like, keep maintaining it, keep trying, because it's all going to benefit you, whether it's in your dream time or your waking life. So those are all ways that, yeah, you can remember your dreams better and work with them.
Fascinating. Side question: do you recommend Blue Lotus or any other supplements for enhancing dreams?
Definitely. The one that I have found the most benefits from is mugwort. I
Mm.
really, really like mugwort. So a lot of times I have mugwort tea, and it's actually really yummy, but I've always had really vivid dreams when I have the straight mugwort in my tea. So I definitely recommend that.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to get my hands on some of that. Good
Yeah.
suggestion. And then when I'm thinking about my own sort of dream language and questions to ask around that, I would love to know your thoughts on when we dream about certain people.
Mhm.
Is there a reason for that? Or
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on why certain dream characters appear at night?
Yeah. So something else I should have mentioned was doing dream audits. That's a really cool way to keep track of who you're dreaming about, what you're dreaming about. You'll start noticing the patterns. So every few months, go through your dream journal and start picking up on, like, for example, for me, I was always dreaming about green Volkswagen vans. I, it was constant. And so then you start noticing these patterns. Okay, I did a dream audit. Why did I dream about a green VW van 5 times? Okay, well, what does the green VW van, what does it mean to me? Yes, you can turn to a dream dictionary, but it's really important to turn inward and ask, what does it mean to me? What is the context of my life? Like, how do I symbolize it? To me, green VW vans represent freedom, kind of that hippie lifestyle. And this was when I was working the super rigid corporate life. And so that was my subconscious mind telling me, Andrea, like, you got to get out. You want to be a little bit more free with your life, and it happened, which is awesome. When you dream about certain people, again, all different theories, but my belief is that it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, you had this. It could sometimes, but if you have a dream about someone, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, that means they're thinking about me right now, I need to reach out to them. It could, but usually it means that you are dreaming about that part of you. So they say you're not dreaming of Uncle Harry, you're dreaming about the Uncle Harry part of you. So what part of you does this specific person represent in you? How is that person making you feel? So many of us dream about our exes, myself included, all the time. So then it doesn't mean, oh gosh, I gotta like reconnect with them and it means we're meant to be. No, it means that they're representing something in me that I either want, or with exes usually don't want. So it's all just, again, they're all just mirroring you. Everything is mirroring you, your beliefs, your emotions, and your like dreams for your waking life.
Yeah, beautifully said. I'm unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, one of those people who has a lot of literal dreams where it's
Oh
like
yeah.
literally
Mm-hmm.
like this is what you need to do. And I often push it away because I have the dream and I'm like, no, I don't want to believe that. Or
Yeah. Right.
nope, like, no, that's not going to come true. And then it does.
So when you have literal dreams, I'm not saying this. A psychologist said this, but I have very, very literal dreams too. And she said that the crazier, I shouldn't even say this,
Tell
but
me.
she said that the crazier your dreams are, the mentally healthier you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because that sounds bad, but it's not. It says a lot though about like your current state. And I think that because I have a lot of literal dreams too, but then I look at like the scope of my life and I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense because I'm constantly thinking this. So it's my reminder to chill out, go have fun, relax a little bit, don't take everything so seriously. And like I think about when I first started dream work and I was like, it was like in the beginning of my spiritual awakening, it was all the things. My dreams were crazy. So it kind of lines up. So I thought I'd share that so that, maybe go and just like tap into your inner child a little bit and have a little more fun so
Oh,
they can get a little
totally.
wackier.
No, it's so true. Well, I'm so glad you said that because lately this week, the dreams have been so outrageous that when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I can't even think of what to write down because
Well,
it's
that's a good
just
sign.
so much so many
Yes.
random things that it's just too
But are
much.
they random?
Or are they random? I know. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to like be stricter with myself and actually writing the things down. Yeah,
Ah.
and every once in a while I will have a very prophetic dream. That's one of
Mm-hmm.
the things. I do have prophetic dreams where I'm able to kind of tap into future potential outcomes and
Mm-hmm.
I write them down because whenever they happen they are so clear, they are so strong, they are
Mm-hmm.
so specific and I'm like, "Okay, I have to listen to this message." And with
Mm-hmm.
time, even if it's something I don't want to hear, it's something I don't
Yeah.
like, I've really learned how to acknowledge it and say like, "Thank you for this
Oh,
warning."
I'm so glad you're doing that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so
Yeah,
fascinating.
it is.
Anything else on the subject of dreaming and dream work that we haven't tapped into today, Andrea?
Ooh.
When it comes to working with your clients and helping them decode their dreams, are there specific ways that you help guide your clients? And what does that process look like?
Yeah, there's a variety of different ways of going through a full interpretation. Sometimes my clients talk about one specific dream. Sometimes it's recurring dreams. Sometimes it's a whole like variety of dreams. And it's usually, I know that there are formulas. I know that there are processes of breaking things down, but usually what I do with my clients is we just have a heartfelt conversation and a lot of times they just need to talk about it and then ding, the light bulb will go off. And I feel like my job is to ask the right questions. It's to ask them the leading questions. I'm not the type of interpreter where I say, this symbol means this means that, you need to do this, pulling out my dream dictionary. I mean, they're great starting points, but I think what's more important is that you or I guide my clients to receive their answers from within. So it's about asking the right questions. And there's different techniques. And I think one of my favorite techniques to do is to almost like reverse the dream interpretation, where I say, okay, you just told me the dream from the point of view of you or whoever was having the dream. But what's really powerful is when you switch it and say, okay, now tell me the dream again from the perspective of this symbol, whatever it was that stood out in the dream. And then that like gives a whole new perspective. And a lot of times answers will come up that way because we're always thinking so straight and narrow. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we need to see all around us. So switching the dream that way can be really powerful too.
Is it possible to dream about your past lives?
I think so. I think kind of like what you were saying with like the prophetic dreams. I think that there are infinite dimensions and in our dream time, we can tap into any of them or experience any of them. I've had many dreams where I know I was not on planet Earth. I was somewhere else. I was either somewhere else or in a different time. I've had what I believe are past life dreams. I don't know though. I'm not sure, but I think it's really fun to think that way and to maybe get some insight. And then even thinking about like when you experience deja vu,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that could be seen as like, maybe that's my past life, like telling me something, or maybe that's my future self telling me something. I think it's all happening right now, and dreams give us a way to like hop into the different dimensions. So I definitely think you can dream of past lives for sure.
Ooh, hopping into the different dimensions. Hell yes. I love that so much. And so we have to wrap up today's episode, Andrea, by talking about being a mystic. So you've already explained being a mystic a little bit in the course of this episode. But of course, I will ask the question, what does being a mystic mean to you?
I feel like being a mystic to me is all about looking beyond what you see. It's about human experience, and it's about embracing the mystery. And something I'm incorporating a lot into my mysticism now, like a lot, is the playfulness, having fun. Like, I feel like I am an inner Princess Peach or a fairy. So I tap into that now. And that to me is mysticism, because it's like I am aligning with my truest self, my authentic self. And I just think it's all about like following the signs, the synchronicities, the things that are unfolding in front of you, staying curious, not not thinking 5 steps ahead, just being present and just seeing what happens. Because usually what ends up happening, I can attest, because I've been doing it since I moved here. It really has been this experience of like, all right, what's my next day gonna hold? And it has been so magical because I'm just allowing it, and I'm staying curious. So that's what being a mystic is to me.
Beautiful. So
Yeah.
well said. Any final tips for living a mystical life?
I think a lot of times we have the belief that we need to have all these tools, we need to have all these skills, or like little hacks or things to do. I think living a mystical life is really about your mind and your belief, and your belief in magic, and trusting that it's real, and that like we're here for a reason, and that life is not meant to just be sitting behind a desk at a computer doing this thing. So I would say like just always stay in that kind of um curious mindset, and just being open to following your own truth and your alignment. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yes, absolutely. Andrea, where can people find you?
Dreamlifeconnection.com or Dream Life Connection on Instagram. And I have, speaking of like little magical things, I have a Magic Monday newsletter where I share like little tips to stay in a magical state of mind. So you can sign up for my newsletter on my website, dreamlifeconnection.com.
Beautiful. And are you offering dream sessions right now? How can people work with you?
Yeah, so I do a lot of online business management. That's kind of the main thing that I do, but I do a lot of separate, like I call them dream life sessions, where we talk about our dreams, but also it's bringing in like, what do you want in your waking life? So,
Mm.
been having sessions like that. They're just like one off, uh, kind of deep dive sessions where we talk about not only dreams, but like, what are your visions? How can we bring your visions into your reality? And so that's been really powerful for my clients. So yeah.
Oh, magical. You're
Yeah.
such a dream mystic. I feel like I could ask you questions about this stuff for hours.
Please do.
I know.
It's so fun.
Oh my gosh. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Andrea, and for this mystical conversation today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay! The portal is now closed. Go pay. Well, before I do close the portal, everybody go write down your dreams tomorrow morning so that you
Yay.
don't forget them. Yes. Now the portal is closed.